Welcome, welcome to the ladies' room, where real men talk and truth go boom. Good morning, good morning. If your man acting up or your woman losing she mind, right we don't hide till we inside, 'cause the ladies' room go set it right.
Again, everybody, welcome back to the room. It is Tuesday, February 10th, and as always, it is a pleasure to have you back here with us. Thank you so much to our friends at St. Augustine Medical Services, Land Store, Western Union, Beacon Insurance. Thank you so very much for making the room possible once again. And of course, thank you to each and every one of you who tune in daily to be a part of the conversation. It has been a pretty heavy week past couple of days, and this morning is certainly no exception. All right, so I just want to welcome everyone viewing on Facebook and YouTube, or if you're on my TikTok, welcome. If you're listening on radio 95.1, 95.3, thank you so much for being here. So this morning, just to give a backstory, of course, yesterday, we were speaking on what transpired on the weekend, which resulted in the death of the young lady, Alejandra Let Hippolyte, and here we are. Yesterday we started the conversation, and we had a caller who identified herself as a sister of Kade Richards. So she did agree to speak with us, and of course, I'm not going to put her up on camera. You're just going to hear her voice, so just to make it abundantly clear, because we still have to protect people's privacy, people's families, etc. This is a very, very, very sensitive conversation, so I thought it best to not put her on camera. But like we heard her voice yesterday, we're going to hear her voice again this morning, with a better understanding, to understand where and how, some backstory, because she gave us a little bit, but yesterday our emotions were all over. I was totally unprepared, was not expecting her call, so it completely threw me off guard. But this morning, better prepared, more in control, and we want to have the conversation with her. All right, so if you're just joining us, please do me a favor and share the live. As soon as you come in the room, those of you already here, please do me a favor and share the live so we can get the conversation underway. All right. So again, we are not going to put her on camera. You're not going to see her face, but you're just going to hear her voice. All right. And like I said, it's in the interest of protecting her family and, of course, her privacy, even though she agreed to speak. And although she called yesterday of her own free will, it's also important that we remember that as well. Okay. So I think I'm not sure if I shared. Let me just do so quickly and then we'll get right into it. Also have a bit of information for you. No, I did not share it. All right, so let me do that now. Okie dokes, and we're good to go. Right. So this morning, the police, of course, put out a release which stated that Kade Richards, a 42-year-old farmer, and it was not 28 as the first report stated. He is 42 years old, farmer of Mount Gay, St. George, and he was charged by police today, Monday 9th, with the offense of capital murder by unlawfully causing the death of Alejandra Let Hippolyte, 22-year-old student of Croshu St. Andrew, by unlawful harm. The charge follows investigations into a fatal chopping incident that occurred on Friday, 6 February 2026 at Cafe St. Andrew. Additionally, Mr. Richards was charged with the offenses of attempted rape, sexual assault, assault with a deadly instrument, and wounding following investigations into separate incidents. And I gathered he would have made his first court appearance this morning at the St. George's No. 1 Magistrates Court. So that is all the information we have so far. And thank you to the RGPF for putting out this bit of information so we have something to work with. All right. So, like I said, we are not going to go into the long pleasantries this morning. So, to everyone that's here, good morning, welcome. Thank you for being here. And we are going to jump right into it. And before we bring her, before you get to hear her voice, I just want to say, I want to acknowledge that this conversation may be painful. You're not here to defend anyone. You're here as a sister, a mother, and a survivor in your own right. If at any point you need to pause or redirect, that's completely okay, all right? So thank you so much for agreeing to speak. I want to acknowledge, I know this is not easy. And like I said, you're not here to defend anyone, but you're here to help us understand how we got here. Yeah. And for our listeners, I also want to be very clear about why we are having this conversation. This is not about sympathy for violence. It is not about excusing harm. The loss of a young woman's life is tragic and unacceptable, full stop. We are having this conversation because understanding warning signs, family experiences, and system gaps is how prevention happens. And at the end of the day, silence helps no one. Yeah? And context is not justification. It is information. Yeah? We center survivors in this space, including the young woman whose life was taken and those who have lived through abuse and fear long before this tragedy. So our responsibility at the Ladies' Room as a media platform is to ask the questions with care, to protect the vulnerable, and, to focus on what must change so this does not happen again. This conversation may be difficult to hear, and again, I just want to ask you as my listeners to engage with empathy, not speculation, and to remember the accountability, to remember that accountability and compassion can exist at the same time. So that is what I ask of you this morning as you join us in this conversation. So again, thank you so much and welcome. Let me just pull this a little closer to you. All right, perfect. So again, thank you so very much for agreeing to come on the show this morning. And I don't think that there's any better person than a family member to, help us understand what is going on. Of course, he made his first court appearance this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. You were there?
Yes, I just come from there.
You saw him and everything?
When he saw me, he kind of turned his face. Yeah.
Okay. Now, your brother had 19 convictions, right? And was released multiple times. But before we get into that, help us understand who is Kade Richards.
Well, it's my mother for child. The biggest in girls. I have a big brother, lives Carrico. But he did not grow up with us. He didn't grow up with us. He grew up in a carnage.
Yeah, like I said, I know it's gonna be tough, but we're gonna leeway for you. You understand the emotions, and this is hard. It's not even me, and it's hard. So I can imagine what a family member feels like. So
I was going through it for like 19, 20 years.
So he grew up on the carnage with other family members.
No, he's not a family member. It's he was a truck driver by the name of Mr. Pierre or something like this.
So a non-family member, he grew up with him.
Yeah.
All right. And at what age?
He come around like after Ivan.
Ivan was in 20.
Yes, it was like
14?
21.
What's on Ivan?
Like 22 years this year is Ivan. Yeah.
So
around after Ivan.
Okay. I need you to come a little closer because we're hardly hearing you.
Oh.
All right. Yes.
So he come around like after Ivan. Yeah.
So after Ivan, he came back around
the family.
The family.
Yeah.
At what age? That would make him what? He was like 14, 15. How old was he?
No, he was a big man.
A big man by then.
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
Oh, in his 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'm putting it together. So after Ivan, so did not live with you, live with someone else.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But from your understanding, as a young man growing into adulthood, what type of person would you say he was growing up?
Well, to me, from since I know him, he's very abusive from since small, because he have incident what happened before with siblings of mine. I wouldn't say anything much on behalf of them because they was young. And then I asked that Miss Huru was in power, and I went to her and I relayed certain things to her. And she did move as SAP. She removed the kids from my mother and everything. So them kids didn't grow up with my mother. That's with my two sisters. So I knew him as this kind of person.
So that means since like
like 14, 15, he's in them because he always going to jail since I know him.
From 14?
Yeah. He's in them thing long, like stealing and all them stuff like that. Very violent and stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's not like a yesterday something.
So he's known to the system. He's known to the police.
He's used to it. Because he always said the jail don't do him anything. He used to it. And he always say when he go in, he must come out. So.
No, he had... So it's obvious he was never rehabilitated because you yourself is saying he said the jail doesn't do anything
for him, yeah.
But yet still, he was in and out
yeah.
and still committing...
He still have hopes that he will be coming out again. He still have hopes that he'll be out. I'm telling you what he's telling me on the phone in front of the officer. Yesterday, he asked the officer to call me to ask me to bring roti for him. And I was like, for real? I said, and I called somebody and I asked, I said, if I poison the roti to bring it, they said no. The police will make me eat out of it. That's why I didn't bring the roti, to be honest with you. Because I know what I go through for the last 19 years of my life with him. Distress, no help. You know, I didn't get any justice or anything from the state because when when my daughter was common entrance and he tried rape her, I was on my job site first when the incident happened. And we go to court and stuff. He knocked me out in front of the judge, tried to stab me with a pen and the pen fell on the ground. Because we were sitting not so far from each other. And I didn't look out for the lash, and I ended up in the health center. That's where I wake up.
Before we go to that, though, like you said, for the last 19 years, you've been literally living in fear, yourself and your family. You also mentioned yesterday that your daughter had to move from school to school to school as a result. What did he do?
Because he tried to rape her, and he was very violent behind her.
So was it a case of him stalking her, following her?
Yeah. Always send her. The only place he didn't stalk her is when she go to Grenville, because he couldn't go around my uncles and them.
Was this ever reported?
Yeah, we was in court.
And no restraining order, nothing was issued to yourself and your family?
Nothing.
So when that case went to court, what was the outcome?
Well, they said they don't have enough evidence. That's what they told me.
Enough evidence of what?
What
was an investigation carried out?
Yeah, that's what they said. What thing, I don't know what court. That was my first appearance in court, so I don't know. Mr. Pinnock was on the court and the case.
So you went to court. Even in the court, you were assaulted.
In front of the
knocked you out in front of the magistrate.
Yeah.
Was he incarcerated for that incident?
Well, he was in prison. I don't even know, because me ain't get no satisfaction. Because at the time he had an incident already, he was in prison when they pick him up.
So he came out to answer to this discharge. Yeah. So he probably went back up to serve the remainder of the time he had for a previous conviction. Mm-hmm. And to your knowledge, you were never told, he was sentenced to additional years because of what? So you were told there was no evidence to...
Yeah. And Mr. Pinnock was on the court.
So if somebody punches you and knocks you out to the point where you're unconscious in the courts, what evidence? Isn't that evidence on its own? That this person is a violent individual and prone to do other things? Because, sometimes we may not have respect, but when we see a police or we're in the court, our respect suddenly becomes very, very, very in tune with what's happening around us. So for him to still do that in the court, to me, that is all the evidence that a court would need to show that this gentleman is not. So how did you and your family cope throughout the years?
Well, my daughter, as I say, she went right around the globe before she settled down. And he was in jail for a long time, for the 10 years, So that's the only time I really had a peace of mind when he in prison. But every time he come out, I'm in fear.
You also mentioned that he would call and make threats.
Yeah, well, always do. This guy, when I was pregnant with my last child, he ambushed me 3 times.
Whilst you were pregnant?
Pregnant, with my last child. So this year going to make it 15 years. That's just a little after my mother died. Just some days after my mother died.
And that was reported as well?
Yeah. Everything was in police.
So how many reports would you say you've had regarding your brother?
Reports I can't even done. Count. Because I'll be calling them 24/7. And they will say, okay, on my way, and nothing has been done. This guy mashed up my house. I was under house arrest in other people's place because I couldn't even go to my home. All because of him. Stalking me, stalking my children.
And we are talking here about family, so I'm not sure what other evidence we need. If it's family and he would go that length, and there was not even respect for family.
No. Even the little girl who he made the jail for is my cousin. The little girl he raped, but come out and speak out, it's my cousin. Her mother died.
Wasn't the court aware of that it's his family member, a cousin?
I don't know.
Were any of you ever called to testify in any of his
No.
No family member was called to give
No, nothing. Nothing.
So you have all this information. You've been to the police several times, made reports, and you've lived literally in fear. So upon his release, so for the last this period when he came out, December. So he was released in December.
I think they said it. Oh, I wasn't here. I was in America. When I come back,
Come a little closer again.
I was in America. When I come back, that's when I see him, and I was like, I don't want you around my place. Do not come around my place. I say, I forgive you, but I don't want you close to my property. And, but it's a government road, so I can't stop him from the government road, you know. And all at one sudden, I realized everything was changed. So I tell my son, I say, I don't want him nowhere close to my place, and keep all the distance away from him, because something is not adding up with him. The time when he moving, the 4 o'clock in the morning, because I just get up very early and sit on my veranda. And I realized he always have a cutlass wrapped up in a bag. And this is the time he moves, every morning. So he was looking suspicious. So I started opening my eyes and, you know.
I want to go back again to his earlier years, because when we saw the police report
Maybe 28 years.
with the 28 years, a lot of people were like, they know him and he could never
Maybe
be
28
years, you know. And today we're seeing and reading that he is 42. So for the majority of his adult life, it has been spent behind in prison.
Yeah. From kid, from 12, 13, because I didn't think he have what do you call this place?
Bacolet.
I didn't think Bacolet was at the time. I didn't think so.
So he's been like in the prison from 12.
Since I knew him. Since I knew him and he was in prison, he going. I don't think he had this place at the time. I'm not sure.
At any point, did you ever ask him why he probably do the things
You don't answer questions. You could ask him what you want.
I also learned yesterday that he was also part of the Ginger Crew gang. I was told that he was part of a gang member, and it's years he has been, you know, terrorizing people, and violence is his nature.
I don't know about the gang. First time I hear this one, but I know he terrorized people from sins, breaking place, can't have nothing in your property. But I don't know about the gang. First time I hear about the gang.
Okay. But the important part is getting to understand how we got to this place. And like you said yesterday, this did not have to happen.
No.
Why do you think it shouldn't have gotten to this stage?
Because I the one who put her the picture first place. And I did send it to Anna Augustine. And I did give it to Mikey.
So let me, on a point of correction though, it was Mikey's brother, because he's a twin, so they look exactly alike.
The one with the plait here.
The plait here.
No, this is Mikey.
Because I saw he put out something this morning saying it was not him, but anyway, it was
both
his
of them
brother.
have a work on radio station?
Yeah, his brother works at the radio station as well.
Well, he answered the name.
So that's what they normally do. When you call either one, because sometimes we don't know the difference, either one you call, they would respond. Yeah, so he said it was his
But I did
his
give,
brother. So you gave them
I
the
did give him the
information.
picture. I sent everything to him. And doesn't have to reach this.
So at what juncture did you decide to put out the picture? Was it because you were hearing stuff, or
Because
somebody came to you?
He came to me and he told me, he said something happened. I said, tell me what happened. He said he chopped some man or something like that.
Come on, get closer again.
He said he chopped some man, and I was like, how come you chopped the person? But I realized he watching me in a kind of funny, you know, he moving different. So I said, why don't you give yourself up to the police? I said, I cannot help you. It's the police to help you. Go make your part clear. And that's when I get to understand. I get the phone call that he pulled some child in the bush in Lakalom. And this is when I start getting suspicious with things. And the way he moving. And the timing he moving. The phone call I get. Got the police and they say, yes, I get the information. So I was working with the police.
And that information, you put out that picture about 2 weeks prior.
Before the 30th of January. I
30th
did.
of January, and the police put out their picture on last Thursday. That's
Yeah.
like the 5th of
That went in, yeah,
the 5th of February,
Yeah.
and you put out your
The
information
30th
on the 30th
of January.
and the police were away because
Yeah, they are away. Because I was working with them.
you were working with them. So 2 weeks after, this information was put out by the police, but this lady put out her information because I got it. It was like a number forwarded. It was sent
Yes.
forwarded
Right.
many times. And it was a co-worker of mine in the same area who heard about it and put me on it. And I briefly touched it because I'm like, you know what? I have not seen the police put out anything. So to practice myself and the station, I don't want to,
Just do certain
just
things, yeah.
say certain things. And it could be,
False
false
allegation,
information or
yeah.
false allegations. So I religiously checked the police and I saw nothing until Thursday. And I'm like, this is really for real. This definitely transpired. And you were saying yesterday did not have to get this far because
I was working on it from
you
day
were
one.
working on it from jump.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a case of him staying in one area.
No, that's why I was trying to track him. But it took off the location. When I tracked him, he was at Tonga St. George, but we couldn't find the location. So anything I get, I send back to the police. Any information I pick up. Because I end up giving certain people his number because he wasn't answering my calls. And we was listening to everything he say. And when we asked him, he said he in Grenville, and they want me to say they in St. David's, and I keep making phone calls all over. And this is when my son put it up, and and then some young man called my son, and they say it's seen by some pastor in St. David's, somewhere close to the same place where you kill a little girl. There's some pastor somewhere up there. Yeah. And then I start transporting the news to the police 24/7. So I was working with them. I tried, but
Did your family ever raise concerns about him being released?
well, to be honest, we don't have a mother. When mother died, but when mother death is the next kind of thing for itself. Because you say, I just want to have him like this. All because I say, whosoever killed my mother, they have to make jail and see trouble
Oh, so your mother was...
killed.
Oh,
By
I thought she...
he.
Huh?
By he. That is where the truth. That
Wait,
is,
hold on.
this is where the things that come out now.
Hold on.
Because listen what he said. And the police said they didn't have enough evidence. Well, I didn't blame them for that because they was pointing finger at somebody else. But listen why I believe was he. When the incident happened, I called one of my brother. He's in Trinidad now. I say, where is Kellan? He say,
Hold on, let me just put it this so you guys can hear clearer. Because you're saying you're a little low. Turn up just speak up a little louder for me, please.
yes. So when the incident happened with my mother, I just dropped my mother by Mr. Steele at they sell the vehicles in River Road. Right, I was pregnant. And not even 5 minutes, this guy come to me, oh, they find your mother. Your brother find your mother die. I was like, no, hell no. I just dropped my mother there. That can't be possible. So the police call me, go up and stuff. I called my next brother. He had thing by marketing board at the time, music and stuff. So I called my next brother. I was like, where is Kellan? That's the first person my mind run on. Where is Kellan? He said, you see Kellan just come to him, hot and sweaty, like somebody running him down. He said, I'll angle go. Kellan following him. And so, in any case, Mita dead. Because we used to call her Mita. She knows Elmita. I said, Mita dead, you know. Everybody run up. So, from since then, I keep saying, whosoever killed my mother, I have to make the jail because the blood is on their hand. My mother didn't have to die like an animal. He said, how I put cost on him. I said, how you mean I put cost on you? If you don't kill my mother, why cost should take you? Cost are supposed to take you if you're innocent. So he said, because of me making jail. I said, but you was making jail long before. Way long before my mother died.
But was he ever charged for that particular...
No, they said they didn't have enough evidence.
They didn't have enough
evidence again. But my brother ended up chopping him up and things and stuff like that. And then he even go to Trinidad. So all know he keep telling the police, I will have him like this. All because I say, whosoever killed my mother, the blood have to follow them. They have to make jail. My mother never get satisfaction. She never get justice. So you have to be in and out of the prison. Because it's you who do it. conscience.
But then again, like you said, the police said they were, they didn't have any evidence.
No, because they was
Was
blaming somebody else.
was somebody else picked up in connection?
Yeah,
Was that
they
person
did.
ever charged? Were they?
Well, he's still in remand for jail for 5 years, but I keep telling the magistrate, this guy is innocent. You could know when somebody do something. You could know. You know, and for what reason, my spirit was never there for this guy, my brother. And up to today, it's still telling people that I put curse on him. Yeah. So it's just not a yesterday something, it's not a today something, it's a continuous something.
Did you and your family ever receive any sort of counseling, any sort of
No,
help, any
no,
sort
from
of?
nobody. Nobody.
How was your daughter though?
She's okay. I get some counseling and things for her in the oldies. You know, so.
So, was his father ever present in his life?
Father live in prison. The father recently come out of prison maybe about 4 or 5 years.
Oh Jesus!
Right now the father is blind. That's why he ended up in St. David's. Because up there the father lives somewhere on that side up there.
Why was his father in prison?
They say the same thing. I don't know. They say the same thing. I don't know the father. They say the father was very abusive to people. So it's a kind of curse, kind of generation curse.
So his father is also
A prisoner for years. He and his father used to make jail together. He, father, and a brother, for as I understand. Because I don't know, only one person I know by his father's side is a sister. I don't know the rest. So I can't tell you.
Yeah, this is a lot, I swear. Have you ever sought counseling? Because to me, listening to you, that is a heavy burden. And I'm looking at you and I'm seeing the weight on you.
No.
How have you coped? What did you do to cope throughout the years?
Well, you know, I like prayers. I like my Bible. So I know listen to a lot of service and stuff. When I go into emotion, I just put on my TV with gospel and stuff. Some days I'm by myself. I can deal with people.
I honestly think you need.
At times it just flick back. When I sit down and I watch my mother's house, and it does bother me. And then this thing come and happen to the girl, is like I hear she bawling for help, and it's like nobody to help her. It's nobody to help her. Because I put myself, I know what I go through. It's a lot. It's a lot. People will say they find I get angry very fast, and I was never this kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like everything just upsetting, everything. Can't deal with people for long.
So, he didn't grow up with you guys.
No.
Father wasn't present because father was in and out of prison himself. Yeah. And he grew up with somebody, well, not a family member.
Mm-hmm.
And has been in and out of the system from since 12 years old, in and out, for various degrees of crimes.
And all kind of
Robbery,
stuff,
rape, attempted rape, and according to the court docs, like I said, 19 convictions over a 16-year period. It's okay, take your time. Take your time. I honestly think you need counseling as well, because having to bear that brunt of responsibility, and like you said, you feel, as if you're partly responsible because you were here giving out all this information, and this could if we had moved quicker, acted on it sooner. So you feel a bit of responsibility in that regard. So that's a heavy load to carry. So I honestly will be looking to getting some counseling for yourself, because you've been carrying this load for years. And like you said, even when you sent out the information, you sent it out and you didn't want anyone to know because you were fearful of what he would do to you if he found out you were the one putting out his picture.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have a message here. Hold on, guys. Debbie, send it to the other phone, please. Send to my other number. Yeah. So what would you like to say to the family? Hold one sec. Someone says, I worked with this child at the juvenile prison, and there is lots of trauma here and uncontrollable behavior. Kellan said so himself that he cannot control himself. This is sad for everyone involved, the victims and his family as well. So this is someone who worked with him at the juvenile center. So as I was asking, what would you like to say to the family?
Well, as I met the father, and because me and him had a conversation last night, and then we met together at the courthouse, as I tell myself, I'm very sad to know that the child have to live her life like this, because I have kids too, and I have grandkids. And I explained my problem to him, but the most I could tell him, we just have to hold strong, and I will do my best. So I have his number and everything, so I will help much as I could with the funeral. Because I don't have a choice. It could have been me. Everybody's victim. Everybody's a victim, so I'm not supporting him, not because it's my brother. I'm not going to support him because it's me who was coming for next, me and my kids. He did centuries to us, so it's no way I don't uphold wrong things. If I wrong, just the same way I want somebody to make me know when I wrong, so.
If one change must come from her death, what should it be? What do you think we should be doing right now?
Well, he need to face the consequence. You do the crime, face the time. I don't think they should have him in the prison feeding. Get rid of him one time. This is waste people money, wasting people tax money to feed what? And he can continue doing the same thing for years upon years, because it's like you don't make up your mind.
Years now.
You don't make up your mind to change. And you're only making people feel that you're willing to change, and it's not, because the amount of people are trying to help him as he come out there. Everybody was surprised. Even the coach I used to work with, the national team tried to help him. It's a lot of people tried to help him. And he disappointed everybody. So it don't make no sense. He's just using that like excuse.
Because he's 42 years and from since 12 years old.
This is excuse. He wants you to feel pity and mercy for him. It's excuse. Because he still threatened my brother in front of the police yesterday in the house.
Huh?
Still threatened my little brother home yesterday in front of the police.
What do you mean when you say threatened?
He went for clothes yesterday.
So the police brought him?
He went for clothes. And
so where did he live?
In Mongay.
In Mongay. Okay,
yeah, downstairs
so
in my mother's house, yeah. He lives in my mother's house. He lives downstairs, my brother lives upstairs.
So he went there escorted by the police
for clothes.
And said what to your brother?
He was threatening him in front of the police. And he called my phone from the station and told me to tell Mishak when he come out what he wouldn't do him, because he don't make a joke with him.
When he come out?
Yeah. So he hopes still high that he will be outside. So I want to know if he don't have law in Grenada, if this system is paused for one person to be doing all this thing and continue walking free. So what's about the people outside? What's about me and you? What's about the children who are growing up tomorrow? People have to walk in fear. They have to live in fear because of one person.
At this point, I think it's safe to say that your brother is sick. Your brother, there is no sign of normal with your brother, because to just be arrested and picked up in connection with the death of someone and you're the police officer and issuing threats to somebody else. At this point, they say everybody deserves chances in life. At this point, your brother does not deserve to
no
breathe
chances.
The same air like we do, because, as an officer was saying to me yesterday, he shows no sense of remorse. He will do something and he will be like, sorry.
No, he don't.
It's like he is not able to connect with remorse.
He don't have.
He's not unable to feel that sense of empathy for what he did or to family or whatever. It's like
you don't care.
It's a human being
with a beast heart,
with a machine heart, with no no feeling. That is why I'm been trying so hard to understand his upbringing. But like you said, he did not grow up in the same house with you. So I wish I could speak to the next person that whose home he grew up in, the
Well, the
gentleman.
gentleman is an old man now.
He's old now.
Yeah. I don't even know if he died because the last time I see him, he couldn't really see properly.
Oh, okay.
He was walking in stick and stuff. So I don't even know if he died.
So from an early age, he attempted to assault other family members, younger family members. And from then, it has just been
On and
on,
Never
one
stop,
after the
yeah.
other, after the other. And that is why myself and others are so angry, because there are people who commit lesser offenses in our eyes, in the public
Yeah.
eyes, and they get longer, lengthier
Well, if, as I was saying by
sentences.
the courthouse, if they see a man with a little piece of weed or a bucket of weed, they want to crucify them. They want to give them lifetime, right? For a bucket of weed. But a man who killed and raped, get 2 months and come out.
And that is the next conversation. Hold on, let me just read this comment here. Says it started with the. Hold on, let me look at my time because I have to go. I have to wrap up. Okay, let me see what this person is saying. It started with the gentleman he grew up with. So we have to talk back to what his upbringing was like with that gentleman. What was he exposed to? What was he?
Well, they said the gentleman was...
Don't say it. I have an idea where you're going,
I don't
but
want to say it.
don't say it.
This is not for me to say.
Don't say it. But I think that is the root cause of what we have before us. Are there any other family members who are in trouble on
Well,
your
and it's-
side that
no,
are in trouble
no,
with the law, that's
no.
in and out of prison?
No. Nobody on my family side, by my mother's side. Nobody. Not my uncles, not nobody. Not my brothers, nobody. Only he by his father's side.
And his father is also,
Was a prisoner for years. Since I grew up, I said a man going in prison, and it's like 4 to 5 years now. He released from prison. Because I think he's blind, the sister says he's blind. And I think your brother does the same thing too, so I don't know. I don't want to say much because I don't know.
this is. So, there's so much to unpack with this situation. And like I said, person calling, I can't take your calls. Today is not an easy conversation, but it's a necessary one. And the next angle we have to look at, because somewhere between the courtroom, the jury box, and the final verdict, a young man walked away, well, a man walked away with a sentence that many of us are struggling to understand. And while judges pronounce sentences, we need to be honest about something that's uncomfortable as well, which is juries matter, jurors matter, your judgment matters. And again, this is not about blame for blame's sake. This is about responsibility. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is about understanding the power ordinary citizens hold and how the way that power is used, it can shape justice, safety, and trust in the system. So, too many people see jury duty as an inconvenience, a disruption, something to get out of. I mean, we joke about it, we complain about it, show up annoyed, distracted, already wanting to go home. But jury duty is not clerical work. It's not symbolic. It is one of the most serious civic responsibilities you can be given. And when someone sits on a jury, you're not just listening to a story. You are deciding whether harm is validated or minimized. You're deciding whether accountability is full or partial. You're deciding whether victims feel seen or erased. You decide whether offenders are meaningfully held responsible. And yes, sometimes your interpretation of evidence, credibility, and seriousness can influence sentencing outcomes, even when sentencing guidelines exist. But a lot of we hear people saying, oh, the judges this or the judges that, but we completely forget the judge goes based on what the juries decide. They go into a room, they deliberate on a guilty, non-guilty. The judge basically tell you the guidelines, what the certain ambits of the law that you have to work within. And the jurors, people like me and you, flesh and blood, are the ones who listen to these cases and decide. And judgment sometimes can be shaped by personal beliefs, gender norms, biasness, conscious or unconscious, sympathy, discomfort, or the fear of ruining someone's life. And upon, doing and listening and talking to different lawyers, I'm getting to understand that sometimes jurors, especially in cases involving young men, sometimes the wrong questions are asked. Not what harm was done, but isn't he too young for this kind of punishment? He looks like someone's son. He has potential. One mistake shouldn't define him. But this gentleman wasn't a one mistake situation. 19 prior convictions. And all of them had some sort of sexual assault to it, or rape, or violence. And not just violence where you punch somebody, but violence with weapons. So that is the next conversation that we need to have. We need to talk about whose futures we protect, because this is where justice often tilts. And I often get the feeling that we extend grace more easily to defendants than to victims, and we worry about the accused future than the survivor's trauma. We humanize the offender and we abstract the harm. And when that happens, sentences shrink, consequences soften, messages get sent whether intentionally or not, and that sometimes harms. So we have a lot of work and a lot of angles to look at, and I pray that we'll do so. It's time for me to go, but before we go, just I'll come back to, let me just play this one quickly. Hold on, why am I hearing myself? Oh, it's playing in the background. Hold one sec, guys. Someone here sent me, asked me to please play. It's just loading. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Yeah.
Pleasant good morning, Haruna. As you're on the topic with the prisoner, I just seen a post like an hour ago stating that a prisoner escaped from the general hospital while receiving medical treatment. There is anybody else, like a police officer or the commissioner, somebody, maybe can come forward and let us know what is going on. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have not seen that as yet, so I'll check shortly. Hold on, let me just play this one here.
Good morning, my friend. On the station, I'm listening to a program right now concerning the criminal that take the young lady life and the sister of the guy. I have to agree with her in terms of what she's saying, because I know exactly that the lack of attention with the police in Grenada, it has been so for a long time. For some reason, the drive for crime is only drugs. But things happen domestically and they turn a blind eye to it. And so you have to look at the whole scenario and realize that the police have a lot to do with crimes that actually happen that could be prevented. And so it's so real that what has been happening when you go and make a report, how the police make fun of you and stuff like that. I mean, I remember one time, painful life, because he had inflicted a lot of pain on people and still have no remorse. You don't need that type of being among human beings. They need to be extinguished immediately, not to be fed in prison, not to hope to come out, nothing like that. Just bully them in a rapid way and let them feel the pain and let them watch you in your eye while they die.
Thank you, caller. I'm so sorry I can play it in its entirety, but it's time for me to go. I just want to say thank you so much again. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult conversation and something you've lived with for a long time. And I pray that you would find peace at some point. And like I said, I strongly recommend that you yourself get counseling, because you can still see and feel the heaviness. And, you know, it's a burden to carry all these years. And especially when it's from a family member, you know, flesh and blood, a family member, not just a stranger in the community that you happen to know. It's a family member that you yourself was had to endure so much from, you know. And I really want to say thank you so much. Thank you for agreeing to speak, and I want to acknowledge that this is not easy. You're not here, like I said, you are not here to defend, but to help us understand how we got here. And I think I have a better understanding, and we really have to go to the root. Yeah. So thank you so very much for agreeing to have this conversation with us this morning. All right. And we'll work on, you know, getting you some of that help. Definitely need to. And we will keep you guys posted. We have so much more, like I said, to unpack where this is concerned, and we're trying not to make this a one-off where we just talk 2 days and we move again.
No.
It has to go beyond that.
The child to get justice. She need her justice.
And she has to get justice.
Enough is enough.
Has to get justice.
Yeah?
Yeah? We have to. Jennifer Gibbs says the formative years are 1 to 7. What happened during that time? That is the big question. Yeah? And he was not in the same household like her for a long period, lived with someone else. So someone else is who we have to ask those questions. What transpired? What sort of upbringing did you have with that non-family member that he lived with? And now at 42 years back in the prison, and so many other crimes attached to his name. So guys, again, thank you so much, and we shall continue tomorrow, God's will, and we'll definitely continue the conversation. All right. And I'm hoping to have one of his victims has agreed to also speak with us, and I'll tell you what day she will be having the conversation with us as well. All right, guys. So again, thank you so very much, everybody, and I shall see you guys tomorrow, God's will. Thank you again. All right.